I wake up in the morning, telegram in hand, heart to our community, the coolest in the land. Cheese cream drops a joke, got me laughing loud. Then I start to scroll down through the daily crowd. Who's the OG Prince, lighting up the zone? Is it Dama Beast or Sav on the throne? Or maybe it's Friday, Flexmas is here. Time to throw some gains and flex without fear. I toss out some questions, looking for the signs. Inside fix is ready, dropping out for lines. I keep on reading, can't look away. Those spicy emojis make my whole day. Then someone yells exit, get off post chain. But I ride the waves through pleasure and pain. I live in a limbo of hope and despair, but we're all in this boat and I'm proud to be there. Yeah, I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game. I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game.
Yeah, dog. Welcome to R2R Rekt to Riches live stream. Don't forget to pound the like button, drop a comment, and always remember, wait a minute. Did I say subscribe? Yeah, you gotta subscribe. Well, hold on. Always remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm for damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media platform out there to influence you when it comes to cryptocurrency, because you could get wrecked. All right. Hearts pounding. Market's been coming back a little bit. Let's take a look at Bitcoin really quick before we talk about the state of DeFi. And is DeFi dead? Is it on and popping? It just depends on what world you're in right now. Take a look here on asterdex.com, which, by the way, right, while we're on the topic, is DeFi dead? Decentralized finance is DeFi, all right? A lot of people identify DeFi as like all high risk, high reward. Right, and dApps and DeFi dApps like high risk, high reward is part of the game when it comes to DeFi. But decentralized perpetual exchange, AsterDex here. Don't forget the links in the description. You can go here and farm your airdrop. They're right now in the period. Take a look here. The airdrop is referred to. It's not stage 2. It's the harvester stage. It's the harvester stage. So you can still trade, right? You can do perpetuals and you can just buy spot and earn points. But taking a look at the big price of Bitcoin, $88,000 Bitcoin. And we're looking at the chart that goes as far back as September of 2021, right? Where it had a dip down to 41,000, went up to 69,000. Then by December of 2022, what was it, like a $16,900 Bitcoin? That's December of 2022. Fast forward 3 years later, we just hit all-time highs on Bitcoin October 4th. Almost, shy of 3 years later, $126,000 Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, in my honest opinion, they're talking about the 4-year cycles are being broken and whatnot. It's hard to say if we have a cycle anymore, but I would be in favor of, respecting the wick down here. Just right there. Can we draw on this? Yeah, we can. Getting back to down here, right? This is back down. Maybe Michael Saylor gets liquidated there. I don't know. Does he? I would expect that to be touched. That to be where we head in the next direction versus like this crazy spike back up to all-time highs. Now it could happen. It could happen where, we see this, you kind of just zoom out. What am I drawing these lines here? Erase that. Where we just see a big wash right, of all of the liquidations take place, the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt, the JP Morgan news, and all the chaos that's happening in crypto. I think Bitcoin always is going to be a long-term play, but if you're a trader, they're obviously selling the hell out of it. And there's been some big whales that dumped Bitcoin. They've been holding for like since 2011, right? We just had a big whale sell billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So everyone's kind of just running around like, what do I do? But then we have a big bounce. Now we're 87,000. And if we go back to 90, we have a relief rally. I don't know. Maybe it's in the cards. But I feel like the everything bubble is lingering, right? Like the everything bubble. What's going on? Hey, how's it going? Clash 3B, B3U. What's up? Yes, I agree. I think we're could have some relief rallies. Definitely heading into next year, there's going to be some things there with the U.S. economy. But as far as like, how do we say, these stimulus packages, right? We might be getting these dividends that are paid through the tariffs, right? We might be getting paid money that was being spent on Obamacare, and it's going to be paid to the people who buy healthcare and have money left over. There could be those things. But it just seems to me that the more research I take a look into, the collapse of like the Chinese markets, our markets, like the everything bubble could be forming, where we're going to have a massive correction. It just happens. It's like it happens every 10 years in the stock market traditionally, right? Like a massive crash. But JP Morgan versus Michael Saylor right now, an event that's taking place where people are closing their accounts. This is going to get real interesting. But during all this that happens, right? All this that happens, DeFi is truly something that still survives the market conditions, whether it's extremely bearish or bullish. So don't forget the links in the description for asterdex.com, where you can go buy your Bitcoin spot, your Aster token, ETH, Solana, BNB, all pretty much your core tokens, your blue chips, right? And you earn points. Now, this is decentralized. This is the future of crypto, is decentralized perpetual exchanges like Uniswap, right? You can swap and buy spot here. But let's take a deep dive into like the heartbeat of something that came out 2 years ago, right? This is about 2 years and a month old. Let's revisit the Titan X days. And I want to point out some things too, because I have a lot of coulda, woulda, shoulda, but I didn't moments in the past couple of years that just that wiped out a lot of my capital. And probably a lot of you guys too, right? 2 years later, after a lot of us invested in Titan X, and the reason why you would have invested in Titan X would be for the simple fact that this V1 buy and burn was so bullish, you were buying on the fact of it building to buy and burn Titan X. But 2 years have gone by and it's sitting in the V1. Titan X, if we take a look at the price of it right now, and you go to the advertisement on DexScreener, brands itself as a hyper deflationary DeFi 3.0 asset, right? And I bought into that. I went big, right? I went big, made a couple 100,000, and injected at least half of my profits back into the system. Okay? Back into the system. Simple fact was that the buy and burn was accumulating all this ETH, and I had all this Titan X tokens that I had sold for massive profits, and half my profits I went back in. To later for it to be where it's at today, all-time lows, right? This is supposed to be like the ultimate leverage play on Ethereum. DeFi 3.0. Okay? And I'm talking about this, like, not to talk trash, just to tell you like the truth, like, hey, I lost a lot of money in this. Like, I'm down a lot of money in this. And the end story to this is kind of hilarious, because during this time, I'm investing in what I think is like a unique introductory to crypto, DeFi 3.0, hyper deflationary tokenomics, buy and burn. Everyone's excited, money's going in, and then new users don't come. No more money goes into the buy and burn. The buy and burn is just where it's at, and no more money's going into it. So that everything else that built on Titan X was designed to be like the V1, but the buy and burns were being used while the V1 sat and did nothing and depleted all the buy and burns. There was like no more money. And it's funny because you lose all that money in something that seems so innovative. You had Jake, the leader, live streaming, a strong community. You had everything going that seemed so bullish. And all we had to depend on was the price of Ethereum going back up, right? So the price of Ethereum in this particular platform known as Titan X, this DeFi 3.0, was banking on ETH, right, going to new all-time highs, okay? And ETH barely went above its previous all-time high on November 2021, which is 4 years ago. It hit an all-time high barely above it 4 years later, August the 16th, right? Like barely 4,900 here, or about 4,800 here. It didn't go all that much high in a 4-year span. And Titan X was designed to be a leverage play on Ethereum, and then the buy and burn was, how much does the buy and burn got, right? 4,452 Ethereum worth 12.9 million. Everyone was thinking like a $10,000 Ethereum. This token's going to go hyper deflationary. It's going to just completely dominate. We're going to make tons of money. Everyone that was a hexagon that was willing to go outside of the box and think outside the box and speak out loud was talking about Titan X. Everyone was excited, right? They came from Zen communities, Hex communities. But as those communities started to crumble and Hex started to go down, Zen started to go down, DeFi was crumbling, this seemed to be like the fix to the method behind the madness on why those were in existence to begin with, but failed. Oh, well, we have a buy and burn, but it's leveraged on ETH. Like ETH is going to go up. And then in this cycle, it's going to go up. We thought it was a for sure bet. Then I started realizing, talking about how the market share was being soaked up by Solana. And Solana, the blockchain that is cheaper to transact and was onboarding more users, was taking market share from Ethereum. So I didn't think it would ever hit all-time high again. It barely did. And people were like, haha, it hit all-time high. I'm like, dude, by like $50, $100. Like, come on. So that aspect of DeFi, really unique, cool tokenomics. You see all the money that's there. It's in the smart contract, hasn't done anything. If I had taken the hundreds of thousands of dollars and just completely transferred it to a high risk, high reward smart contract platform called Bitnest, which if anyone looked at Bitnest from the very beginning, you would go, I don't think so, dude. I'm not touching that I wouldn't touch that with the 10-foot pole. All right. And Bitnest came out before Titan X. Links in the description. Do your research. I did a video on it yesterday in my final review. Here's the upsetting thing. Let's go look on the blockchain at Bitnest. Instead of putting my money in a Pulse chain, which I sacrificed for freedom, I sacrificed for a layer 1 blockchain that was supposed to be quicker and cheaper than Ethereum. I invested in new tech. I believe to be new tech. I invested in new extreme tokenomics with the hyper deflationary aspect in Titan X. And for some reason, Bitnest, it came out 2 years, 237 days ago. When you go in with USDT for a 28-day lock period, right? You get 24% back. Has been paying that consistently. I've been in this for about 5 months, and I talk about it like, dude, this is like high risk, high reward. Like you could lose all your money, right? It's mind-boggling the amount of new users that continue to come into Bitnest and throw USDT into this versus all of the DeFi I have been in across the board. That's with Pulse Chain. Every DeFi possible platform that came out on Pulse Chain, I tried. A lot of BNB stuff, and we're going to talk about some good utility tokens I talk about with my members only. $2.99 a month, right? Price of a Cambodian coffee. We're going to have a members only live stream tomorrow. Bitnest has been paying out like clockwork, and it's got millions of dollars still in stable tokens that have been, since I've been in it, I've got my money back over and over and over and over and over, going on almost a half a year now. But it's been around for 2 years. The point is, if I had taken all my TINX profits, which was a couple $100,000, put it into Bitnest, right, and did the looping that I've been doing for 5 months plus now, where you lock it in for 28 days, right? We'll take a look at the profit introduction. It makes me sick to my stomach that like something that I completely saw a long time ago was just like I've written it off as a scam, because I highly believe like, these things cannot sustain for a long time. Okay, so it's a smart contract known as TINX with millions of dollars of Ethereum made sense. Hyperdeflationary, DeFi 3.0. But this would have been the better play. So, like, what did I do wrong here? I thought I sacrificed, life-changing money if I would have cashed it out for an opportunity to make even more money. And that flopped, and it's down. TINX, the same thing. That flopped, it's down. And the tokenomics are undeniable. So apparently this platform is getting its yield from people that are loaning out their Bitcoin and Ethereum, which would mean if it's actually true, it's paying out real yield to the people that are looping. So if you enter with your USDC and you lock it up for 1 day, you get 0.4%. 7-day locks, you get 4%. 100% ROI plus 4%. 14 days, 9.5% on top of your capital back. So let's just say that's in the past 2 years, right? With just $100,000, I could have made, after 28-day locks, right? Let's just call it 2 years, 24 months. I could have kept compounding that. And the first month, I would have made $24,000 for a $100,000 investment. The next lock period, right? I would have made what does the numbers come out to? It's ridiculous, because right, you're earning 24%, and you can keep rolling it. So it's just, to me, it's oh my gosh, it's crazy. All right, so the next amount would have been month 2, $29,760, right? And then you're at 153, and you could have literally made 24% a month for the past 2 years doing 28-day locks, and ended up with hundreds of thousands of dollars instead of losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, reinvesting into TINX, continuing to buy the Pulse Chain dips and everything else. That to me is like breaking and silly, right? But it happened. It happened. So now I've been making money in Bitnest for the past, like I said, 5 months, going on half a year here. And I wasted all that time believing in DeFi. So like, to me, is DeFi dead? I think there's so many tokenomics that no longer are buzzwords, like hyperdeflationary, right? Buy and burn. Right now we have certain buzzwords, certain terms that are a part of DeFi, that are a part of like good concepts. But DeFi to me is going to transition into what Aster Dex is. So Aster token to me is a good investment, right? And then talking about why Bitnest the scam, they call the scam, right, is making people money is because it's paying what people pay to loan out their Bitcoin and Ethereum, the fees they pay to the people that loop. So that would be technically real yield being paid. If it's truly there, it's been doing it for years now. And mind-boggling, right? So with that being said, we go to our sponsors of the R2R live stream and video content. Okay. DexFi is DeFi. They're doing LP yield farming. You can invest if you go to dexfi.com/bonds. They've already paid $751,462 in USDC. APR is 65.61%. They've paid over $751,000 where you just mint on base your NFT bonds and you kick back and relax and you can compound, right? You get exposure to their strategies that they use, expert entry, exit timing, precision managed liquidity. So that brings me back to like the beginning of time. And I'm going to talk about a platform that I made a video about the other day, which is called PLAZM, right? I did a complete video about PLAZM. But to me, now that real yield is king and it's being used on Bitnest, whether that is truly circulating, right? The fees that people are paying for loaning out their Bitcoin and Ethereum being paid to interest to people that are looping, which is providing liquidity to the system. I see on Bitnest $100,000 an hour going like clockwork for months now. It's mind blowing. Okay. But here with PLAZM, DexFi is providing the real yield that the precision managed liquidity is earning through yield, and it's feeding the platform, which has completely not just put a band-aid on the DeFi that people tried to build on TitanX. The build on TitanX platforms, guys, we could take a look at them. The build on TitanX platforms, there were so many of them. We're going to take a look right now on how many build on TitanX platforms there were. And the whole concept of them, each and every single one of them had their own buy and burn. And they all met a fatal death of not having new users come in. All of these, there's 26 plus listed and there was more. They all died because new users didn't come in. It had hype and then it died down. With PLAZM, you don't need new users. So in DeFi, being dead, on one side of the fence, yes, it's dead when it comes to the old way of doing things, because now yield is king and it exists with PLAZM, which is on base, by the way. The link is in the description. And if you're going to survive in these markets, whether it's down or up, you have to understand how to roll with the punches and find truly unique, good ideas and understand that those ideas could fail. But what we have here that we've watched for several months, right, since PLAZM has been around, is it solved an issue where we saw all of these platforms here that built on TitanX that had buy and burns deplete, where they have no more money going in, and basically they can't do the squat about it, right? New users stopped coming in and they won't ever come back. They won't just start coming back. Now, this has been corrected and fixed. It's not a band-aid, it's fixed because the platform invests in DexFi bonds, which that real yield is being fed into the ecosystem. That real yield is making sure that the buy and burn doesn't deplete. So this is the first time you had some stuff like this going on in DeFi, and it's working in real time. And the next month, it's going to get crazy. If you are sleeping on PLAZM, you're really asleep behind the wheel. You are absolutely asleep behind the wheel on something that's never been done before that is working. Okay, the yield on this thing is going to continue to be backed by a perpetual buy and burn being implemented into the system so that this doesn't get depleted, so it can continue to buy and burn, not run out of money, and for the first time ever, truly make the token deflationary without being depleted. That's never been done on 26 different protocols that built on TitanX, and TitanX itself that has no more money coming in on it. It's just sitting on $12.9 million of Ethereum that's not been used yet. All right. It's got to buy and build as well. If you take a look at the stats, the DeFi vaults right now, growing more Ethereum than it was the other day, 114.48 ETH. The P&L is a plus $377,681. Total claim profits, $42,138. Continues to feed the engine. So you don't have to worry about new users. So the old DeFi is dying and the new DeFi is here. You just have to identify that there's a lot of high risk, high reward DeFi platforms out there. There's a lot of tokenomics, like tax tokens, for example. If you haven't been bit and stung and wrecked by tax tokens, then you haven't experienced it. You will eventually fall for it through the hype. But they all had that death. On a tax token, you got to remember, true whales are not going to lose that much money on a tax to enter and exit. It doesn't make sense, right? So tax tokens are something I've learned the hard way. So it's like you got to stay away, right? But until you learn those lessons, right, believe in what you want to believe and do what you got to do, because lessons in crypto are going to cost you thousands of dollars. The interesting factor here, though, is perpetual decentralized exchanges like Aster Dex. So the Aster token is actually a phenomenal product that, whether we're in a bear market or not, and it goes to 50 cents, then I'm buying more. PLAZM is the DeFi platform that, if you don't understand now how this is feeding itself, do your research, and you won't do any other DeFi unless you can see on chain, which you can see on chain. The proof is there. You can click here on view on DBank and see the money that's being invested to the DeFi bonds and how it's generating yield and where the money's at. It's all transparent, right? If you can't see that on another platform, it's just like that. What doesn't make sense, right? It's all transparent in there. Now, when it comes to the tokens that outside of DeFi, right, they're going to be a part of DeFi and going to be a part of crypto. We've been talking about in the members only chat and the members only video. Alpha Kek, because AI for the first time is going to be implemented on a cryptocurrency and is being worked on to actually engage and work and operate via blockchain versus just the word term AI being used as a buzz term. They have a big announcement tomorrow. If you're not aware, gotta like and retweet that, right? Fractal 2.0. Go do your research on that, all right? Also, a lot of money we will see transition since the Zcash and the Moneros and the privacy tokens. We have Beam, which is a privacy token. Go to ChatGPT and type in the best privacy tokens in crypto. Beam is listed like number 5 or 6 as having the cleanest code, but with like the least exposure. So if you're looking for a low market cap opportunity and privacy tokens, Beam is a privacy token that you can buy a wrapped version of it on Ethereum, and it's probably your biggest opportunity to hit mad gains. The same thing with Referral is listed as the number 1, and I talked about this with my group when it was $2.23. You know, a lot of people are like, I sold above $5. I was like, nice, man. Like, you got a good trade. I was buying more down here and just holding, right? I could have sold and bought more, but I just, you know, I'm not in the trading mood as of late. I'm not very good at it. So privacy tokens are going to be where it's at. These types of things are going to bring privacy. Imagine privacy and then also AI combining forces with good DeFi dApps and a good DeFi dApp that you can definitely say, hey, I want to be a part of. Prime example, PLAZM, because it's generating real yield and doesn't require new users. That's the first of its kind. Then you have AI, and then you have a mix of privacy, and those things combine into a dApp with all of the above, real yield, whether it's AI, whether it's privacy. That could be the future of dApps to come. So we've evolved over time. Now we're not high risk, high reward, 1% per day. Okay, we know what happens there. I'll build on this, buy and burn, all they deplete if they don't get new users. Fixed it with real yield with PLAZM, right? No longer is there a big opportunity in layer ones, right? Right now, the big opportunity right now in crypto in general shifts between, a meme token and now privacy. Privacy is high in demand. Privacy is being looked at like, oh my God, this is important. So DeFi to me has died on one hand and has been revived on the other with a much more longer sustaining fixed problem that's going to generate true yield and can last for a long time as long as you stay in the game. Remember, they're all games, they're dApps. So links in the description, guys, for PLAZM, Aster DEX, right? You go into Aster DEX, that's, backed pretty much. CZ is an advisor for Aster DEX. So the Aster token long term is probably one of my top favorite investments, right? And I don't think, not a day that goes by that when the price is down, I don't buy it. I'm always buying it on the dip. It's my favorite to represent a perpetual exchange that's decentralized. When it comes to Bitnest, holy smokes, I wish I put hundreds of thousands of dollars into Bitnest 2 years ago. Good thing I found it a half a year ago, 5 months or so plus ago, and I've been making good money. It's just a shame that I got caught up in DeFi 3.0. I was in a failed investment with Pulse. If I could have done things the right way, I would have took everything into Bitnest, snowballed that into a few $100,000, probably close to $400,000 plus in the past 2 years, and then bought the bottoms of Pulse chain. But it is what it is, and you never would have thought, because the decision I made seemed to be the smartest one. Oh, don't touch Bitnest, that's a scam, right? Little did I know, timing is everything. And the timing could have got into that then and been good. It's unbelievable, but it's a decision that I made that I have to live with. And it kind of sucks to know, like, it is what it is. It is what it is. At least I'm making gains there. And I'm hoping that everything that I can buy the dips on will pay me like major, dividends in the end. But this has been a crazy journey of just like DeFi 3.0 and, faster, cheaper fees, world's largest airdrop. And I still believe in all that stuff, but like, I believe it would have been a better choice to buy what everybody would have considered a scam, made tons of money compounding it and buying the dips now and saying, all right, now I'm ready to buy it. A perfect universe, that's how it works out. But it didn't. And that's the hard truth facts, is the best decision turned out to be the worst decision. Isn't that interesting how this works? The best timing would have been the reverse timing that I had. And that's why anything can happen in crypto. So all the links in the description, guys. Do your research. Don't forget to pound that like button. Drop a comment. Till next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.
I wake up in the morning, telegram in hand. Heart to our community, the coolest in the land. Cheese cream drops a joke, got me laughing loud. Then I start to scroll down through the daily crowd. Who's the OG prince, lighting up the zone? Is it Dama Beast or Sav on the throne? Or maybe it's Friday, Flexmas is here. Time to throw some gains and flex without fear. I toss out some questions, looking for the signs. Inside fix is ready, dropping out for lines. I keep on reading, can't look away. Those spicy emojis make my whole day. Then someone yells exit, get off post chain. But I ride the waves through pleasure and pain. I live in a limbo of hope and despair, but we're all in this boat and I'm proud to be there. Yeah, I'm might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game. I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game.